Evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Motorsport Republica, episode 48.
Oh,
How we going?
Good boys. What's going on?
Probably one of the biggest weekends of motorsport in recent memory. Pretty much every category worldwide
Crazy.
was out on the weekend.
yeah, it was.
So yeah, we've got a lot to talk about.
Oh, mate. F1s.
So yeah, F1's to start. I mean, what an event in Australia. It's just getting bigger and bigger every year. I just can't believe the amount of people were there over the weekend. And
Yep. We were there, Tom and I, and obviously Daniel was at ASBK, but we walked around 16 Ks later.
Racking them up.
Fuck, man.
So much to do though.
There's a lot on, isn't
much
there?
to do.
Yeah.
And like we walked around the track, and I'm sure the fans listening at home were the same. Like every spare spot inside that and outside the circuit had something going on.
Yeah.
Food vendors,
Bars.
the Ferris wheel. There's interactive things. Like it's just an incredible event they put on.
Heaps of bars, and there was like all those gaming things as well. They did.
Yeah.
Fuck, there was a lot going on. It was a massive... And a perfect weather as well, especially the Friday and I think the Sunday as well. So
Yeah, nothing against obviously they have a lot of classic cars and stuff that park. And I remember that being the biggest thing to look at on a Friday. We were walking past all the car clubs. But now it's just like an afterthought. I mean, there's just so much going on.
yeah, they had like a Batmobile there.
We walk in at 8:45. We walk into the centre where the fan zone is, and like you got Piastri and Norris on the stage with there being like 10,000 people already there.
And you could hear the
That's nuts.
screams of like all the chicks and shit. It was like from the other side of the track. It was like here on a V10 car on the other side of the track. It was all these girl screams. It was incredible.
God, I just remember, and we spoke about this over the weekend. I remember being there before COVID, like 18, 19, and used to go to that stage,
Yeah.
and there was like 100 people there on a Friday morning.
Yeah, that's right.
Like no one at the Melbourne Walk. I mean, fucking hell, it's crazy.
It was so different. There was you'll laugh, Daniel. There's this like old guy like trotting around the whole track in like a button-up Jack Daniels V8 shirt. He was kind of just like pissed, looking around like, where the fuck am I? Like this isn't like a racing event.
It was like going to a Melbourne Cup carnival.
Yeah,
event.
on
was-
steroids.
Yeah. It's just
Glamour on the grid.
Well, yeah, it is.
Exactly.
It's so different now. And I would say 65% female. I mean, it's just so different now.
Yeah.
And loving it, like
Loving
and
it.
obsessed with it. So, yes, it's so good for the sport financially, but we'll see what happens over the next 5 years.
Well, I said this to you on the day, and you might find this interesting, Daniel, is when, just say like 2 or 3 years ago, we were there and it was like kicking off all the Drive to Survive stuff, and there was heaps of like glamour, Insta girls, rah already there. But this year, it didn't seem like there was many as them, but there was more girls, but they actually seemed more, I guess, passionate fans. Fan base, where you could just tell they were actually there to see the drivers or whatever. So it was kind of changed again, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, a lot of that. And like, the glamour's still there, going, corporate pits and all that kind of stuff, and people dressing up. But there's some serious diehard female fans there.
The sensory room would have been overloaded, I reckon, but the sensory room would have been chock-a-block. They needed about 3.
They had that hidden. We couldn't see it.
Yeah.
MotoGP that front and center, so a bit different. Now, what an event. I mean, the third most attended Formula One Grand Prix ever in history.
That's amazing.
Adelaide 95 still number one. They had 500,000 people.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Silverstone was the second, 480,000 last year. And we'll see what they do this year. But, F1 Australia came out today and said they want to be bigger next year. They're going to open more events. They're going to make it even bigger, even wider. So
I don't know how. I don't even know how they
Get us down there. That's how.
Yeah, that's all right. Oh, I love it, Daniel.
that's it. Beautiful.
I love it.
too.
Well, the thing is I think it was you or Danby. Shout out to Danby.
Yeah, we caught up with Danby, number one ticket holder.
Yeah, number one ticket holder. And we said we were talking about how they're going to make it bigger, but this is what's going to happen. One of you guys said it is they're going to like over provide everything, and then it'll start dying off.
Yeah, there'll be that one season or that one race, 1 year where
When they have 10 Ferris wheels,
they've overcompensated, and then it starts going back again.
Yeah.
But mate, that race, going back to it, I mean, Ferrari 1 and 2, it couldn't have been a better time for that to happen in the sport because
needed it.
Really
Absolutely,
needed it.
it did.
It really needed it. And the scenes, it's such a fucking pity they weren't allowed on the track after the
Fucking
race.
bullshit.
Yeah, that's
man.
ridiculous.
So hopefully that'll get changed next
Fucking
year.
bullshit.
But I mean, Ferrari, McLaren, yeah, it was a great race. I think it was a better race watching it on TV than what it sounds like watching it at the track. Because I had a lot of feedback from mates who were there going, oh, geez, it was a bit of a boring race. I'm like, yeah, but there was a lot of strategy going on. There was a lot of like unknown what happened to Verstappen at the start of the race. It was interesting, the battle with the McLaren teammates as well.
Yeah.
Looking at Lando and having to let Piastri letting him through. So there was a couple of excitement things there. But it was a better race than probably, seasons of old. Last year was amazing, but that was for other reasons.
What's boys? What's your three most impressive, most surprising, and most disappointing out of that weekend?
Well, I'll go first if that's all right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Most impressive for me was Carlos Sainz. He just he was fantastic. Didn't make a mistake. And look, not going to say he got gifted the win. I mean, if Verstappen was still in the race, it would have been a really exciting battle. But he had the pace all weekend, and ever since he's been not given that contract for next year, he's just lifted. Apart from his appendix, obviously, but
no appendix, no worries.
Yeah. Well, it was funny over the media. He was saying, "Oh, maybe that's a secret. Maybe all drivers should get their appendix out. That extra, half a kilo might get them the extra tenth. Biggest surprise for me was Tsunoda in the top 10, finishing 7th in the end after Alonso's penalty, which we'll touch on next. A great result. I mean, frustrating being obviously Ricciardo fans. It just didn't have the weekend that we all hoped he would have, and obviously there's a little bit of pace in the car, and he had a really good weekend. That follows on to my most disappointing was the stewards giving Alonso that 20-second penalty after the race. Just it's racing. I don't know what the go is. He was slowing down, so obviously Russell didn't have that DRS advantage with the slipstream. So yeah, it's on the edge, but a drive-through penalty. I mean. That was the penalty. I mean, I thought that was really, really harsh. Daniel.
Same as you for most impressive. Carlos, I mean, managed it really, really well. And interesting little tidbit. First person since, I think, 1979 to come back from a medical absence and win a race.
Fuck, I love it.
That was nice.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
So,
I love Daniel's tidbits.
But yeah, I thought he raced awesome. I thought the Ferrari was really good. I think that their whole weekend was pretty good, and they worked it out really well and actually worked within the team really positively.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, no stuff ups. Biggest surprise was double points scoring for Haas. I think probably got a little bit lucky with a few people in front
True.
coming out, but good for them.
Yeah, they've actually had a pretty good results in Australia the last few years. I mean, the first season, I think they had issues with their pit stops, which they fucked up the first couple of rounds where they let the cars go and both the wheels came off. So yeah, great result from Haas.
Yeah, so that was biggest surprise, and then probably Checo as disappointment.
Yeah,
if Max isn't winning, he should be winning. He's in the best car,
or at least podium.
He was 56 seconds behind.
Yeah,
Sainz in the end. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah. So that was a bit. That was probably the most disappointing when you're in a. The complete package, really.
Correct.
Yeah.
With all the backing.
I'll just have an honourable mention, all right, if that's all right. For the most disappointment was Sauber's wheel nuts.
I was going to put that down, but then I was like, nah.
It's good.
So, not to, bring all the attention back on me, but...
standard, Daniel.
But yeah, I mean, they've got a known issue. With these nuts, and they can't.
It's common.
They can't change it until they redesign it, and they can't redesign it until they're back in Europe. So
and it's some of them like 50-second.
Yeah, they just
pit stops.
They just keep cross-threading the nuts. So fucking.
It was really funny on commentary too.
Crofty.
Yeah, one of them was like, Sauber's keep playing with their nuts all day or something like that. I was just like pissing myself. But yeah.
Most impressive, obviously, Carlos Sainz. We don't have to go back into that. Most surprising for me personally was just seeing how many Piastri fans there were over the weekend.
Yeah.
I knew he was big in Australia, but he was 90% of the people that I saw at that racetrack.
Yeah, a lot more Piastri than Ricciardo.
90 to 10.
Night and day.
Yeah, it was incredible how many Piastri fans there were. And obviously the orange stands out, but like when we were there, I hardly saw any Max fans, I'm going to be honest.
No,
But
I
it
saw
was,
one person with a Max t-shirt.
yeah, it was just a sea of Piastri, which was cool. It's really good to see the Aussies getting behind him, and he's doing really well.
Yeah, mad.
And most disappointing for me, obviously Perez, but my main one is, I don't know how you're going to feel about this, is Lando letting Oscar through. I still think it's so frustrating because Norris comes out and says, well, I was a lot quicker and I would have overtaken him anyway. So if you're already a lot quicker and you're saying you're going to overtake him anyway, just do it. Like, I get it. You've got the pace to try and catch Charles, which you didn't do anyway. He hadn't even put a dint into him. Like, just let him race. Like, I get it. But if you're saying you're going to overtake him anyway, just overtake him.
Yeah, it's not that easy though, James. It's not that easy. Same machine.
But at least it makes a battle. At least maybe I'm a bit more old school, but I like more of the entertainment.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah, it's probably too tactical now.
There's going to be always that problem in F1 with team orders.
I hate
Yeah.
it. I fucking hate it.
And they tried to ban it over for a few years, and then they just went around it by having code messages and stuff. So, I mean, that famous
Multi 22 or whatever.
multi 21, and then there was
21.
Fernando is faster than you. When Massa let Fernando through at Hockenheim in, don't know, 16, 7, I don't know.
Well, it didn't pay off. It just gave, Lando a podium. So that's the frustrating thing.
It is a frustrating thing, but yeah, I mean, Piastri, he's still the young kid of the team. So yeah, it's frustrating because we're Piastri fans. That's the thing. If you're Lando
But
fans,
even if it isn't, like, I'd just rather watch a race.
yeah. But imagine if they took each other out trying to pass each other.
Yeah, I think they made
insane.
the right call.
Yeah, I get why they do it. It's just dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just as for an entertainment.
But you got to
value.
remember, Lando was in front of Piastri, and then they pit Piastri first, so they could protect him against George Russell. So you got to repay the favor because the undercut's always going to be faster as well.
Yeah.
But very valid point, James. Very valid point.
Yeah, but it was a great weekend. Like, they just do it so well.
It's an amazing.
Grand Prix.
It's how they do it. So V8 supercars as well. There. I mean, it loses its light now because you got F2 and F3. I mean, that's amazing racing to watch. But F1 are actually in talks with supercars to bring some supercars as the support category in some of the Asian races.
Oh,
That's cool. That'd be awesome.
Didn't they used to do that at Yas Marina? They used to go over there.
They did one year at Yas Marina.
Yeah.
I remember Mark Scaife was on commentary for practice 1 in the F1s. It was actually so surprising.
Oh, that's right. I remember that. Yeah.
And
that's crazy.
And V8's raced at Bahrain for a couple of years, but they didn't race on F1 weekend. It was its own weekend. I think they did China possibly,
Okay.
but I mean that'd be cool.
That's good for the sport.
really
That's
good
promising.
for the
And
sport.
it is a good undercard, I guess you could call it.
Yeah.
Is the V8. It's good racing.
And
Yeah,
internationals
absolutely.
would be like mesmerized by it.
Yeah,
Like they'd be
like
like, this
big
is so
V8.
cool.
Yeah.
They're big, like
American looking muscle cars.
There's not really anything like that out there. I mean, you got the GT cars and stuff, but they're always a European.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. That's really
Yeah.
cool. Hopefully that comes into fruition.
So, boys, where's Mercedes going to go from here? I mean, like my early season prediction is just falling to the toilet. I mean, double DNF. Hamilton didn't look like he was on it at any stage in the weekend.
Worst start to
he
his
looked-
career, I think
yeah.
he said, ever.
And
He looked shocking.
the car just doesn't have any pace. I mean, you looked at Perez passing Russell on the weekend, like he just flew by, you know? Both of them got on the radio, Hamilton and Russell, and said this thing's a rocket ship. I mean, you must be feeling so slow in the car. So, man, who knows? I mean, they're in a bit of a sticky situation. What are they going to do next year? They're going to sign that young gun, Kimi Antonelli, who actually had a really promising weekend.
Yeah.
He was leading at the Grand Prix at one stage in F2. Are they going to sign Sainz now because he's having such a great start to the season? So, who knows? Will Sainz go to Aston Martin and Alonso go to Mercedes? What's going to happen? I mean, that's the exciting part going into the end of the season.
Bit of a silly season.
Yeah, I just don't know where they go from
They're
here.
in a whole world of hurt, though.
They are. They've got to work something out quick, smart as well. Is there any talks of them having any upgrades in the next few races? Or?
There is, yeah. I think Japan's going to be the same sort of situation with their car, and I'm telling you, boys, we might not have a pod next weekend. So my prediction Verstappen will fucking absolutely dominate because it's all aero that track.
Yeah.
And then those two large straights, it's rare Mercedes are really, really going to struggle. So it's going to be really interesting. Going back to Europe. They go to China after that, don't they? So it's back-to-back races, Japan and China. and then back to Miami, and then probably San Marino mid-May, probably where the big upgrades would be, I would say, because there's no sense of bringing an upgrade to Miami because it's such a unique street.
Yeah, that's
circuit.
right.
Yeah.
It's not like anything else.
It's not like anything else. You bring upgrades there, you won't even know if they work or not because like it's such a unique circuit. So
Pushing shit up a hill.
Don't you reckon it's funny the last time Tom and I had the pod here, I asked Tom, when's the next time Verstappen's not going to win a race? And it was literally the next race.
yeah, I know.
You put the jinx on him.
Yeah.
You're good at that, actually, because you got me good last week as well, you dog.
I did that with the footy. Every time I turned it on, a goal gets scored against us. So I just turned it off.
I reckon
It
that
was fucking
happens to me
bullshit.
as well.
It's a problem.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? I mean, he was going for 10 in a row. So there goes that whole thing. Will they win the race all year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A 43 race streak.
Yeah.
Last time he finished was 2022 Oz.
Australia,
Yeah,
yeah.
like it's
2 years ago.
kryptonite. Something's going on down here. Must be because we're upside down.
It's because he didn't go down Lygon Street, that's why.
Did you see the Ferrari go down Lygon Street and the guy's pouring a Red Bull out the side of his Ferrari?
Oh, no.
And he's just like rev bombing it.
And then he
That's
and then he
wicked.
runs over his can, and then the camera pans to the cam, and then up to Ferrari. Fuck, it was so good.
That's wicked. That's
Oh,
awesome.
just such an old bullfrog going like, yeah, that was fucking awesome.
Shout out,
Grazie.
shout out the Papagenos. They would have been fucking making pizzas left, right, and centre that night.
Bro,
surely.
what's a Cavallino?
Cavallino's, they're
Bro,
big
that-
Ferrari,
bro,
like,
that
it's
place was
full of Ferrari
pumping,
merch.
like pumping that
Yeah.
place.
Plus, it's near the square. A lot of, even on a normal day, there's always cars parked out the front of them.
Yeah,
But
true.
I seen some Instagram stories and I was like, there's not a chance in the world I'm going down there. I'm not even going to go on the bike.
You would have been the king, but bro, imagine you down there, Daniel. Would have been kissing your feet.
That would have gone out of the way.
Yeah.
They would have let me walk
You would have been
up
like
there.
Jesus going through the fucking Nile wherever he cuts the water.
I would have sat on top of a Ferrari just waving at people.
Yeah.
It was funny.
right.
My godfather came over. I'm like, oh, if he had the VL, I would have gone. But
Fuck, northern suburb spec. Not even Lygon spec, northern suburb spec.
but it is good for the sport, like we touched on a little bit earlier. All jokes
I mean,
aside,
it couldn't be a more perfect weekend. Mercedes double DNF and Ferrari
yeah.
1-2.
And I think it just
Yeah.
shows these first few races at Ferrari's slowly but surely getting their
No,
stuff
they are.
together.
They are.
And they're really starting
They're looking
all
promising.
to work together properly. And
Yeah, that Fred Vasseur, he's obviously team principal, came in last year. He's a sort of a jokey sort of character, but I think behind scenes he's really whipped them into line. So
They need it.
because
Absolutely.
the pit wall just made all these comical errors, didn't they, last year and last couple of years? So yeah, it's looking really promising.
100%. And McLaren fucking put the pressure to him.
I did.
Like
yeah,
McLaren pushed them hard. When you think of it, really go back and watch it. It wasn't easy for Ferrari, and they didn't crack. Where normally, like you said,
Yeah.
they'd butcher that and throw that down the drain.
Yeah.
But Sainz, I mean, you got to remember, Sainz stayed out longest out of all the front runners, put the laps in, came out in the lead again. I mean, that's why he's our most impressive
sure.
thirst trap performance of the week.
That's all right. He must have
Yeah.
been drinking it hard, recovering from his appendix.
Yeah.
So I think he had it in his water pack.
He had an IV of thirst trap. But he's the only person to break the Verstappen streak in the past couple of years, really.
And
A
him and Checo.
non-Red Bull.
And
you know?
the funny thing is, the last 3 races Sainz has won, Russell's DNF'd.
Oh, there you go.
So-
So if Russell DNFs, you know Sainz is
Yeah,
most likely
yeah.
going to win the race.
So Silverstone 22, Singapore 23,
Yeah.
and then Australia 24.
That's awesome. It's good. Ferrari winning is just nothing but good for
It's
the
the
sport.
best for the sport, man.
Yeah,
And
it's
especially
always
the
good
one,
to see. I love seeing
the
Ferrari
1-2.
win. Yeah,
Like,
I thought they were going to do a formation going over the line. That would have been me.
or he said on the radio,
Yeah.
like, tell Charles to get close to me, and I thought that would have been
Oh
unreal.
my god, how good would that photo been?
Yeah. Shed a tear.
Yeah, I would have. I would.
But it was good, man. What did you boys make of the whole Williams debacle?
That's a great point we haven't touched on. Very harsh on Logan Sargent, but probably made the right decision in the end. I mean,
It's so harsh.
He was so close to getting a point L1. If anything, he finished 11th in the end. But
Yep.
yeah, it's so harsh. I mean, you got to remember these guys made this 17-hour flight trip out here. He's practiced in the car. He hasn't really made a mistake. He's made a lot of mistakes, Logan Sargent, over the journey, but comes out here and then gets told you're out of the car. I mean, fuck, you got to go all the way home, without driving, without racing. I mean, it's very harsh.
Hard
And
on
he
the
did-
ego. It's hard on the ego.
and he didn't
that.
make a mistake. And Albon made the mistake.
I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall on that conversation.
Not an easy one to have.
Fuck no, that's rough.
My first initial thought was, you know what, Albon made the mistake. That's unfair, and I think I expressed that when we were sharing our posts. And but yeah, I mean, in the end, I think it was probably the right decision for the team.
100%, and especially for them, that sort of mid to lower field battle, like every point for them counts. It all comes down to dollars and what they're gaining from their sponsors and all that. And at the end of the day, you want your best driver in the car.
The real issue here, though, Daniel, I reckon, is why don't they have a spare chassis here?
Yeah, that's weird.
That's like, come on, it's a street circuit.
I was gonna say for a straight circuit.
You got concrete walls everywhere. I mean, yes, it was a big accident, but it wasn't a massive fucking thing in the cracked chassis. I mean, how do you not have a spare chassis here?
Yeah, that was.
You got another race in Japan in 2 weeks. You got another race in China just after that. I mean, bring one out here, you know?
Yeah.
So
that was a joke.
I don't understand the logistics, and I'm speaking, you know, now because I don't understand, but that surprises me. A Formula One team of that stature doesn't have a spare chassis here.
Yeah.
So
that's on them.
That's the real problem in this whole scenario.
Yeah, it's a good point. It's a great point.
Yeah,
it's a really good point.
So that was again what was my first initial look at it was yes, harsh, but fuck, why didn't they have a fucking replacement? I mean,
yeah, that's right.
Fucking put one on an A380 and fucking fly it out here. I mean, seriously,
not hard.
No.
Yeah, crate it up, box it up, put some bubble wrap around it.
That hard.
Spot weld the other one back to it. Come on,
chuck the Heathrow. They're right next door to it, down in bloody Williams Land. Williams Landing. Oh, goodness.
I got a bit of a tidbit for you. Not a tidbit, but something wacky.
Yep.
The new Formula One Drive to Survive fans. I think the line's blurring between a Swiftie and a DTS fan.
Yeah.
They're all the same. I'm telling you, they're all the same.
I like it, Jim.
Yeah.
No, you know what it is, James? I think they've all got like a little touch of autism.
Yeah, it's like it's got the sensory rooms.
You're like, no, like being serious. Like we're all a bit of soy boys now. Like that's the thing.
You'll speak for yourself, mate.
Yeah, I know. Jesus, don't include me in that.
People since COVID, I don't know if it was in the jab or something, but get obsessed with things.
I've never seen so many headphones of cat ears in my life.
But think about this.
Formula One.
Like the Swiftie situation. We've never had anything like that in existence. I mean, there was a fucking amount of people that came out of the woodworks for that one. Unbelievable.
Well, I'm just saying as well, yeah. I'm just saying, like, when I'm stalking people on Instagram, as we all do.
Hey, speak for yourself.
Yeah, speak for yourself. I don't.
Oh, you wouldn't want to open up.
Married,
can you attest of what you see when you open Tom's phone up?
No comment. I'll plead the fifth.
No comment. Anyway, when I've been stalking, like, you know, Insta in quotation mark, Insta fucking fans, F1 chicks, they're all Taylor Swift F1. That's like their thing. It's like their bio.
Would you see the swap of the bracelets and stuff they were doing?
Yeah, that's a very Swiftie thing to do. So I'm just saying, it's just a bit of a, like, it's almost like a bit of a, Swiftie's like a little bit of a cult. Maybe it's a little bit of a cult. That's all I'm saying.
New World Order?
Yeah, it's the lines are blurring.
Yeah, I mean, shout out to our friend Molly
Bristow.
Bristow.
Yeah, she's really cool.
She's filming herself on race start and crying, you know? Like, the intense love is...
I was going to say, it's amazing how
crazy, you know? Like,
sports can make people feel.
Yeah, like she was like... And a lot of people like that, you know? And the emotion, it's just unbelievable.
And she goes to, like, the Bathurst 12 hour and stuff. She's really into all the motorsport.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's the other fans. I mean, it's just some fucking wacky people loving this sport now, but it's cool.
Well, it's interesting, like, that Drive to Survive, obviously it's massive, but for example, shout out to my Mrs. Han, she's her family is not into motorbikes, not into motorsport, hate motorbikes. And I'm the only reason why it's been brought into their attention. Anyway, she starts watching MotoGP and now she likes MotoGP and she doesn't want to miss a race now. And then I was watching F1. She's like, why the fuck are you watching this? It's so boring. Like, it's just the same. Like, no one passes, nothing happens. Where if you watch MotoGP, you know, there's so much more action. And then she messages me the other day. It's like, oh, I'm watching Drive to Survive season 1. She's like, I really like it. I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake. Like, but I'm like, at least you like, you know, she's like, because now I know who these people are and their personalities and Daniel Ricciardo and Max Verstappen. Now she's really into it and watch all of it. And we went over to your house to obviously watch the Formula One. She was really into it. So, like, yeah, we make fun of them and it's funny, but it's still cool to have them in the sport. And she's a prime example. Like, she couldn't even tell you what any motorbike or Formula One car was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
You know, and now it's all so different. So yeah, it's interesting.
It's crazy what marketed tabs. My mate Nick texted me the other day, said the same thing. He's like, "Oh, I'm starting to watch Drive to Survive." He put in an order through us, grabbed a whole bunch of shit.
Yeah.
Started listening to our podcast and text me like, F Marquez, Rossi's the best. Bloke doesn't know the first thing about the racing side of things, but just gets into it. And
that's awesome.
It's
That's
crazy,
what you want. I actually started watching the I think you've watched it, Daniel. The There Can Only Be One.
Yeah, that's good.
MotoGP.
Yeah.
That's I'm 2 episodes in. It's actually like,
It's really good.
really good. And I was shitting on it like, oh, why? Like, it's not no Drive to Survive. But if you're listening, watch it. It's just on YouTube. It's free. It's really
So is that
really
from last
interesting.
season? Is that recap from last season?
Yeah, it's really good though. They've done it really well.
Do they release it week by week or something, or do they?
They did for
year
for
previous.
2022. They released it like once every week. This one they just dumped them all the episodes within a day.
Yeah.
The only thing that irks me about it is sometimes it can cut to and from too quickly within the episodes.
Yeah,
but it is. If you love GP and stuff, it is awesome.
It's not up to obviously like the production standards of Drive to Survive, but for what it's really good.
What I like about it's a lot more raw. There's a lot more in the pit.
Yeah.
Like you see the
doesn't
the
seem as
emotion.
manufactured like the Ricardo Verstappen.
Yeah.
It's
rivalry.
not. You're getting it at face value.
Like when Nia Bastianini's like, like this is my name's going to be on that plaque, and then like they tell Pecco like straight after, and he's like, kind of laughs it off, but says, you can just tell their ego fucking comes through. It's so,
that's right.
And like you look at Pecco and you think, like he's just like he almost seems like he doesn't care to a degree, but then you see like they all just see the red mist, and it's just their egos take over. It's so
Wait
interesting.
till you get to the last step.
Oh,
the
I
last
can't wait.
step's fucking.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll have to watch it as well.
I seriously, I poo-pooed it, and it's really good.
Last episode's meant because it's a lot more of the team and the people in the team as well. Like stuff goes down. It's good.
Oh, good. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
It makes the sport more exciting. It really does.
Yeah, and sports like F1 and MotoGP need it because people just think, looking at the outside, that it's just a car going around the track and they're the only reason why it wins. But it's
So
such
much more.
such a team effort and a manufacturer effort. It's not just Pecco Bagnaia. It's the CEO of Ducati. It's the team managers. It's the mechanics.
You got to remember, these guys have these factories back home in Italy and in England and stuff. There's fucking hundreds of people working on a race day and a race when the race is on. Strategic things. Like, there's so much going on. Like, it's not like the old days, the 50s, 60s, there was a guy on the wall holding out a thing going last lap. That was it, you know? Like, they're looking at engine temps, oil temps, turning things up, down all the time. Like, it's so intense, all this different stuff. So.
Formula One's is a whole nother level again.
It's funny, I was thinking about this over the weekend watching, I think when at the track, I was thinking, it was funny, back before Drive to Survive, there was a lot more mystery watching it. And I'm like, is there too much, do we know too much is going on? Like
I bought this up not too long ago.
Yeah, I'm like, I really like it was a sort of like magic, not magical.
You don't want to see behind the Iron Curtain almost.
Yeah. Like it was like back in when I used to watch F1 as a kid in VHS, and when turned it on, the race started. Like you just didn't know what was going on and like what happened, and like it was so like, I don't know what the word I'm looking for, but
well, it's like you look at Rossi. Like when I was a kid, Rossi was just like he's a god, but like you would. The dude's just on such another level that you can't even comprehend. Like, you would hear things like he pays off the Italian media, so that like stuff like that, like makes him a legend. If you've got too much access, I don't know. Does it dumb it down a bit? I don't know. It's like, but then you look at the Drive to Survive fans, and they still think they're another Swiftie fan again.
That's right.
But when I'm a massive F1 fan. When Drive to Survive premieres, I'm not like straight on watching it. Like,
I'll watch it later.
I'll watch it later. Like, I don't really fast.
Yeah.
Where some people like fanatical about watching it.
Well, because that's how they watch the racing.
That's how they get through it.
But it's hard for me, and this is why it took me so long to watch this MotoGP one, because it's hard. I can't watch shit on replay. So if I already know the result,
it doesn't
but there's
matter.
still more to it that like my autism brain can't handle.
Well, that's the thing. Like the last season's done. You're on the new season now. Now I'm going back through the old season.
And this season, you're already thinking about next season because someone's already been signed. Who's going here?
Yeah, so it's a funny one.
It's the tiz.
Yeah, it is. I like the fact that even you see it a little bit in DTS, you get a little bit of factory access, but if you're full on into the actual machinery itself, I think there's a lot of mystery still in how it all gets put together and built and that process, which for
True.
some people are like, oh, I still like the fact that I don't know what's going into that part of it.
Well, when we was watching it the other night with Marquez, obviously he was at Repsol Honda, he was talking about a problem with the Honda, and then he realizes there was a mic in there when he was, and he's like, he stops talking, and then it tells him to leave so he can actually talk about what's going on. So I thought that was interesting. Yeah. So you're right, it still is that bit of mystery.
100%. 100%.
You don't really you don't know what's really real and fake on that Drive to Survive as well. That's what sort of irks me a little bit.
Yeah, especially
the whole fake rivalries and shit like that. So
where it's not like that at all, really.
Well, they're two friendly, lovey-dovey, aren't they? In both paddocks.
Yeah,
in both paddocks. So I think we'll get on to probably MotoGP. In MotoGP,
oh my god!
Like it seems the tension is building. Building.
What a race! This is what we needed, though. What a fucking race! Races.
Yeah. I mean, fuck. Well, we try not to talk to each other today because, like,
oh my god.
Yeah. I mean, where do we start?
Where do we start?
Do you want me to start with race results?
Yes, please.
All right, sprint race. It's a sprint race, isn't it? This is sprint race. All right, Maverick Vinales first. Unbelievable. Your boy Daniel. Mighty Mav. Oh, there's so much to unpack with Maverick Vinales.
I can see your brain ticking.
I know. Marc Marquez seconds. Just again, Jorge Martin third, Bagnaia fourth, Jack Miller fifth, the Beast sixth, Pedro Acosta, my cat seventh, Aleix Espargaro eighth, Fabio Quartararo ninth, Raul Fernandez 10th. Main race, Jorge Martin, Ania Bastianini, Pedro Acosta, my cat third, Brad Binder fourth, Jack Miller fifth, Bez sixth, Quartararo seventh. Shout out to Fabio Quartararo. Aleix Espargaro eighth, Miguel Oliveira ninth, and Digia 10th. All right, let's go right into it. The crash.
The crash.
What do we think? I'm going to go first.
Yep.
Racing incident.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we all agree on that. There's no penalty there, definitely.
When I first looked at it, I was like, fuck, Marquez, you idiot. And I'm a Marquez fan. Then I looked at it again, and Crafer put out something. And I was like, fucking Pecco Bagnaia. But then I looked at it, I'm like, it's just a race. They're both going for the same line.
Not even, it's what it was. It's the typical one goes out, you're going to go in.
Yeah, and it's a double apex corner.
It's the flip-flop.
Yeah.
How many times has it happened?
Yeah.
But the other thing is, I have to look at the history of Bagnaia as well. He has done that move on several occasions. You looked at Phillip Island on Honda on the last lap. He chucked it up the inside of both Martin and
Zarco.
And he just sent the bike on that inside line. He's done it again. And I think...
It happens at every race.
It happens every race. But I don't think Marquez probably expected to be in there that close. I mean, I think Marquez was trying to cut his line as well. But I think it definitely a racing incident.
Yeah, million percent. Like I said, Marquez ran wide, comes back onto the racing line. Pecco tries to take that racing line.
And Pecco's, obviously his tyres were cooked at that stage. He's just trying to save points.
Was Pecco slightly wide though?
No, he was pretty tight. He'd seen that opening and then...
Yeah, okay.
It's a tricky corner.
Wide.
That Portimao track is very tricky.
It's not an easy track.
I felt like he dumped the throttle and then pushed him out wide slightly. Just that was my look.
Nah, Marc already went out. Pecco went to take that gap as Marc came back in the
And he came from a long way back, Marquez. But again,
that's right.
It's just a racing incident.
But how good's this? Like,
it's awesome.
It's what it needed. It's almost like both sports is what it needed. I didn't want Pecco just to run away with it again. And then them colliding together to Ducatis. Oh, fuck, it's so good.
But shout out
I'm
as well
salivating.
to Martin and shout out to Marquez because they didn't let Bagnaia just lead that race.
Yeah.
Okay. Because
yeah.
Bagnaia went for it at the start. Martin put it up the inside. Marquez then put it up the inside and said, nah.
They know how dangerous it is.
You fucking get back to fourth or fifth and you fucking stay there because they weren't having it again like it was in Qatar.
Is Pecco Bagnaia a proven... Yes, he's had that win against Marquez, his first win, but is he a proven dog in the fight?
No, he's not. No. He struggles in traffic.
He has moments though, like you just said about Phillip Island.
Yeah, I think over the years it's gradually gotten better for him. When he lost the championship to Fabio, there wasn't many times where he would make those moves. Slowly we've seen that come through in his first, a lot more in the second, and then I think those moves in Qatar you just go, hold on a sec. He's here to play, and he went to take those moves again. Yeah, it didn't pay off.
Yeah,
Racing.
they're not always going to pay off though.
I think he knows he has to show that he does.
Yeah,
and touching on what you were talking about earlier, there can only be one. You can see when they speak to him, he does have that.
Oh yeah,
which I always doubted.
I mean, you looked at the second half of last year, his qualifying was shocking. Remember, he was starting 14th, 15th in some of those races and came back and podiumed and won. And like, so yeah, I think I'm a little bit harsh on him as well, his racecraft. But
I think
he's just one of those riders. He gets out in front and
that's it.
And dominates the race.
Yeah.
And it's always frustrating
sort of
to
like
see.
Lorenzo,
classic example.
And then they'll look back on it in 10 years later and be like, fuck, I love him.
Yeah. like Lorenzo wasn't fifth and then...
Nah, he was pole.
Yeah.
He was pole front
that's
row.
right.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing is, and we always say it, and I'm always going to stick by it, is just him as a person probably makes everyone not like him as much or not appreciate his craft as much.
So unfair on him because
It's
like
so-
he's just a nice guy.
I know, it's so ridiculous. We just love to like hate someone or love a personality.
Yeah, like, that's the thing.
That's the problem. And we've been spoiled with that with Rossi and Marquez.
But classic
And
is
even a bit with Fabio.
Yeah,
But the
yeah.
classic that is Bezecchi. Like Bezecchi's not that much like more, hasn't that much more like, you know, he's not that much cooler than what Bagnaia is, but we love Bezecchi.
Yeah, but they call him a rock star. Like they even say it in that
But
show.
I think because he acts like a rock star too.
Yeah.
He's like,
he's got
you know,
an
like,
aura,
get off.
man.
Yeah.
He's got an aura. Like he doesn't take
Marini's
bullshit.
another classic example. Like
He's boring as bat
he's
shit.
boring, but like people like him. Like no one doesn't like
Only
him.
because his brother Bart.
Step brother, yeah. Step brother.
Step brother. Gets stuck in the washing machine.
But yeah, I think that's what that is. But I think he has proven that he can make those moves.
Shout out James Acosta podium.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank
well
you,
done,
boys.
mate.
Thank you. Second
what
race.
an unfucking believable thing.
Yeah.
Like, just, I don't, and this is something we're going to look at in 10 years' time, and we're going to go, wow, like, that is crazy.
But
I mean,
I'm already going, wow.
I know, it's just, watching him, like that.
He gives me chills.
When he passed Bagnaia and then ran wide, remember that bike under him? It's like,
yeah.
he's just Speedway style. Like, it was insane. Like, I don't see a bike like that and a rookie since Marquez.
I've got so much on this that I want to ask you boys.
Yeah.
He's amazing. He's obviously amazing, and he made Brad and Jack look slow, which is so fucking unbelievable on his second race on a gas. He's so exciting to watch. Going into the corners, he's sliding it in. Now, how does he? I was thinking about this during the race. How did he save tires? Because he was right on Pecco's ass for 10 laps. He wasn't half a second behind, and he wasn't a second behind.
Yeah.
What's going on with the front tire pressure there?
But I don't think anyone had tire issues at the end of the race.
Yeah.
Marquez was kept that 0.5 second gap, and he was even talking about it after the sprint race.
Could that have just been a precautionary thing, though? Him doing that?
Maybe, but what's the difference between Portimao having tire issues and any other track?
Different surface.
Yeah. There's heaps of play for that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
but that is a good point. Like, he probably went harder than other riders at the start, as we all saw.
He was going hard the whole race.
Yeah. I think he slip back up for 5 laps and let the tyres cool down. Like, I think after the race, he said he got advice from Jack Miller on that, where you just said, which is probably the worst advice you can get.
It's a tire management.
But I think he came out and said, like, he did stay back for about 5 laps and then attacked
I think there was
maybe.
I think
Maybe
there
I
was a
just
stage where he
missed
did
it.
drop back. And not only that, for him, he's got nothing to lose.
Yeah.
So why not stay at the
Don't
arse
you
of
love
someone?
it? Don't you love
Yeah.
it?
Like, it's
he's-
awesome.
But he did that in Qatar as well. He went out. He goes, "Look, I'm just gonna fucking go
Yeah,
and
that's
learn.
it.
Like
Yeah.
if the tires go, the tires go.
But he
Like,
goes and learns and podiums.
I know. Like.
He's a freak.
He's a freak.
We'll go back to that, but I just want to touch on fucking Vinales. Do we know like gearbox
Yeah,
issue?
Yeah,
Like,
gearbox.
couldn't find 6th, and then I think he hit second and it jumped back out, then jumped back in or something. That's why he put his
yeah.
leg out to let him know he had a
Yeah.
problem, and then as it grabbed, it just shot him off.
Bro, I felt so sorry for him, Bart. Like, it's such a Vinales thing to happen.
Yeah, hard.
it's such a
hard.
it's such a Vinales. It's such a Aprilia thing to happen.
Yeah.
On the last lap.
But good on him. Like, he was crook all weekend as well.
Yeah, and won the sprint race
Yeah. What?
and was looking quick. Like, well, they,
Espargaro did nothing all weekend either.
yeah. Anyway, we'll go to our mosts actually. Let's do that.
Yeah.
Boys, most impressive, biggest surprise, most disappointing.
You go first, Dan.
Most impressive for me was actually guest of the pod, Jacob Ralston, dropping the 20th and then coming back up and finishing
Love it.
11th.
Love it, mate.
That was
Yep.
freaking unbelievable.
Yeah, he's a star.
And that was a good race. the actual race itself, and
Yeah.
I don't think many people came off. So it wasn't like he had luck in front of him. Like he pushed.
I really we'll touch on Moto 3 soon, but I really enjoyed that race, that top 6 battle.
Mate, that was
Yeah.
one of the best Moto 3 races in a
Yeah.
long time.
Because
And
it
they're
was
all good. So that's a big
It
statement.
was a little bit more organic, as in like it was real racing rather than just slipstreaming down the front straight
Oh,
like it
boys.
was.
Biggest surprise was Aaron Canet finally winning a race.
Oh, great one.
Good on him. Well deserved.
15 second places.
15 second places. 5 years in the category.
Was it 5 years he's been?
I think he's been in, or it's been 5 years since his last win or something.
Fuck.
Good on him.
On a Fantic,
Yeah.
which is not the greatest bike in that category.
Yeah. He's been doing pretty good on it, though.
But I'll tell you what, he raced awesome and he handled the pressure really, really well. We'll touch on that race later anyway, but another good race.
Yeah.
And biggest disappointment, to be honest, all my stuff's not even from GP. It's Alonso Lopez throwing it down the road.
Oh, yeah. He was winning, wasn't
Man.
he?
Could have
Yeah.
gone points, would have stacked on the points against his teammate. Would have been leading the championship, but yeah, just when I thought it was all over, I thought that race win in Qatar helped him. No, that was like I was just like serious, like come on, man,
I know.
like you're trying to fight
disappointing.
for the championship and a GP seat.
Yeah, 100%.
Like,
You can't do that.
you're
It's
one
these
of the
little
next
moments, isn't it?
exactly like you're one of the next big things, and I freaking love
Yeah,
watching
I'm a
him race,
fan.
man. He's so much fun to watch.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was I was just like, oh, dude. For me, that was mine.
I like it. They're good. They're really good. My most impressive, look, I'm not going to be, it's Pedro Acosta. Obviously, we've already spoken about him. Biggest surprise is that it only took 2 rounds for Pecco and Marquez to clash.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I like it.
I thought it was going to be maybe in the second half of the year, but it's 2 races. So,
Off to a good start.
yeah, that's right. It just makes Ducati a little bit more tense. It was a racing incident, I understand. But, clash of egos.
Yeah.
Pecco certainly doesn't want to be losing too many points. Like, all the pressure's on him.
20 odd points behind now.
Oh, yeah. It's
Yep.
great for Martin. Like, that's a big thing, isn't it? Like,
Martin just needs to be consistent.
Yeah. And he's so good in the sprint races normally as well.
Yeah. And he won at his bogey track. Portimao was a bit of
Yeah.
a bogey track for him. He had that big crash,
Yeah.
So it was good for him. And yeah, most disappointing was Maverick Vinales' gearbox. Just so unlucky, as we spoke about, and Alicia Spargo. Like, he was nowhere that whole, and like, he's complaining, he's having all these problems, but he doesn't like the track. But like, you want to win a title, we've got to ride around these problems.
That's
It's
right.
what all the best do.
Yeah, exactly right.
You don't hear them complain; they just ride around
just
the
ride.
problems. That's what world
They'll
champions do.
they'll cop the blame and they'll keep going.
Exactly. I know Quartararo for a couple years ago was complaining about Yamaha, but Crafer said like this year that he's just shut up and just, he's working to make that Yamaha better, even though he's going to sign for Aprilia and take Alicia Spargo's seat anyway. But
Yeah, it's pretty much done and dusted, I reckon.
I think so.
I can't, same thing. But Acosta's just probably the most impressive thing I've seen in the last few years on a MotoGP bike. Was just amazing. And he's so exciting for this year, and I can't wait. And I'm a big fan.
Big facts.
I'm not usually a fan of these little Spanish kids, but but maybe he's changed my way on that.
You're going to be part of the Spanish mafia scene.
Biggest surprise of me was Quartararo finishing 7th. And
Yeah,
I think,
solid.
I think
good one.
I just can't wait for Coda and if Alex Rins can do anything. 'Cause I just want Dan to jump on Danny's back. So is my hair stinging? You're looking at my hair.
It is. I couldn't stop. That was a tiz.
Yeah, good. All good now.
Nah, it's still up.
I'll get you.
Put it down.
Thanks, bro.
That's slide it back a bit. Slide your head. That's it.
That's it.
Sorry about that, everyone. Biggest disappointment for me was and harsh, but Oliveira. I mean, it's his track. It's his home track.
No, he
He's-
had a shit weekend.
He's won on it before. He
Yep.
ended up finishing 9th. Obviously, a couple of
Yeah,
DNFs
offs.
helped
And
out.
we seen the bike was capable.
Bike was capable.
Yeah,
like,
correct.
you
He's on a
looked at-
factory bike,
on a
isn't
factory
he?
bike.
Yeah.
Yep,
That's
so-
why I had him up in my tips.
Yeah, so like you looked at what Vinales did on that bike. Obviously, Spargo just finished ahead of him. But yeah, I was hoping for some magic today. I know Dan, you had him in his top 5. I left him out this week because I just was sick of putting him in and getting disappointed. So
Yeah, he does that. Going back to Quartararo though, what'd you say? He was seventh?
Yeah.
Seventh? That's a really good result. And it looks like, I don't know if Yamaha's found anything, but they were both top 10 in the qualifying.
I was going to say, even Rins had a decent...
They did.
He had an off.
Yeah.
But
Standard.
Yeah, I think they were both in the top 10 there for a while. So it's good. And I mean, obviously those three of the top runners crashed, but still a top 10 for him would have been a good result.
Maybe it's a little bit of progress. I don't know. I really hope it is. Maybe Quartararo is just trying to ride around the problems a bit
yeah, I think he is.
bit more.
I think he's matured a bit.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a flowing track, I guess. Maybe it suits
Yeah.
Yamaha a bit more. You know what's a funny fact, and I was talking about this the other day, Quartararo is only 24 years old, and fucking Jorge Martin's, he's younger than Jorge Martin. Martin's 26.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
It's crazy.
I thought Martin was like
Was younger.
20, 21 or something. But yeah, it just freaked me out with the tears and shit, you know?
Well,
so.
I think it popped up on the screen and it said Quartararo 24 years old. I'm like, what? That
Yeah.
can't be right.
Yeah,
Like,
we won his championship at 22 or
22,
something.
yeah. That's young.
Mir was the same, won his championship at 21.
Yeah, fuck, there you go. I never really thought about it.
When you think of it, crazy. Stoner, same, 21.
Yeah.
like Quartararo was born in 1999.
I know,
Like,
how fuck's that?
But it's funny. You feel like he's one of the oldest statesmen, sort of, in the
Yeah,
grid.
you almost do, actually. And he's only 24.
So there's a lot to learn there, isn't there? So I hope he goes to Aprilia next year. That'll be great.
It is needed.
Oh, dude, me too. I'll buy all of his merch.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Straight out.
True, we might have to do a Quartararo or Aprilia tee if we hear about those news.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, he did
100%.
come out and say he's got news and he's going to make the announcement very soon.
Yeah, he ain't staying at Yamaha.
There was talks with him going to Pramac.
Okay.
There
I
was
haven't heard that.
Yeah, that was thrown around a little bit as well.
Yeah.
I don't know how true it is.
But it sounds like if Martin doesn't get the, factory gig at Ducati, he's leaving as well.
Yeah.
So imagine having Martin and Quartararo. in the Aprilia team.
That's my tip is Martin and Quartararo.
I think so.
That's a fucking team.
But there's also I think Aprilia want Bastianini. That's their first choice.
Okay.
I believe from what I've read.
He's starting to look better.
So that's where the Martin thing comes in. If Bastianini's going to keep doing this, well, it's hard to get rid of him. It's not like it's Miller where you only won a race or two and a couple front rows and whatever. Like if Bastianini's consistently with Martin or above Martin, it's hard to replace. So.
It's a tough one.
Man, Bastianini's got so much talent. Like,
he's so good. I love him. I'm a massive fan.
Dude, it's so good to see him chucking on pole and have the results he had this weekend. Unlucky with his launch.
Yeah.
But
That KTM launch just seems unbeatable, doesn't it? Miller in the sprint race, straight to first. I mean,
Yeah. Straight to
Incredible.
first, straight to sixth.
standard. Standard. He had a better second lead in the first lap, didn't he? as
Yeah.
well?
yeah, he pulled out a hefty
crazy.
one. Same as last year, but did the
Yeah,
same thing.
same thing. Carbon copy.
Tyres were giving him trouble after the second lap.
Yeah, it's fucked. It's fucked. Well, Ducati signed Furman. We haven't even spoken about that since that's happened, but it happened like 2 weeks ago. But
You heard it here first.
yeah,
I did say that would be the first signing.
you did.
You
Well
did.
done.
Well done.
Thank you. I did a Tom.
A lot of crystal
Yeah.
balls lately.
We're journalists, I
Yeah.
suppose. MotoGP journalists.
We
So
are.
we should be.
Yeah, what's the difference? Seriously, we've got a microphone. We put stuff on the internet.
So yeah, it's a 2+2, 2 guaranteed with a 2 extension.
Early Daniel, you reckon? He's won. Yes, he showed
Look,
some real fight at the end
It's
of the
early. It's early.
After his jump start and double long lap, I was like, oh, it's rookie error. But
So-
then to see him come back and carve through and finish in fifth, I was like, that's a good call by
Well, he
Ducati.
was
Snatch him up.
He was 3.5 seconds off the lead in the end.
That was amazing. That's like a Marquez Acosta thing to do.
Yeah.
I was watching that unfold. I was just going, oh, poor Canet.
Yeah, I know.
I was like, he's going to get pipped. I'm like, 100% he's going to get pipped.
I know.
But yeah, I think that's a perfect call from Ducati. Get it in.
Pramac?
That's what I think they've come out and pretty much all but confirmed it.
Yeah, have to
he
be.
actually signed in January.
Yeah, I did hear that. He signed in Jan.
Because there was rumours swirling then, wasn't there?
Yeah.
Was rumor at the end of last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
No, it's smart. They need to bring the young talent in because, if Martin goes, Bagnaia's getting older. You need that flow.
yeah,
of
because
talent.
I think Bagnai is 27 or 28.
You need that young talent. They're gonna lose either Martin or Bastianini.
Yeah.
And they're gonna dump obviously Morbidelli.
Morbidelli.
Morbidelli's just a stopgap, isn't he? for the
Yeah.
year?
Yeah. Speaking of Ducati though, is Bezzecchi ruined this decision or what?
Yeah.
He's struggling on the 23 with engine braking.
But Marquez is,
like you just said,
yeah.
though, right around it.
yeah. Has he got the X factor?
But he had the opportunity, is what I'm saying, to go
Yeah.
to a 24.
But would he be doing anything that much different?
Well,
Is he just
you're
using-
giving yourself a better platform.
Is he using it as an excuse, this engine braking issue that he has?
Well, I think it was an issue for everyone when they first jumped on that
Yeah,
bike.
I think it was. That's
So-
learn how to adapt to it.
Pecco, Bagnaia and Martin adapted to it and won a title.
Marquez has jumped on that bike and adapted to it pretty quickly.
Yeah, but you can't compare Bezzecchi and Marquez.
True.
But Alex Marquez is struggling.
He is.
Yeah.
He is.
You know,
But I'm just saying,
De
he
Gea
had
seems to be the only one that's making it.
a little bit.
But, sorry, take away Marquez.
Yeah.
De Gea seems to be the only one that can get his head around it at least.
He didn't do much on the weekend, did he?
Nah.
11th or 12th,
Yeah.
crashed out of the sprint.
Finished 10th in the end after, he would have finished 13th.
But
30 seconds behind
what
the
I'm
leader.
saying is, Bez, he had the chance to jump on a GP24 and he would have known that would have been a very good bike. He would have had the intel.
No, more to the story, though, Chich. You know what I'm saying? There's got to be
Yeah.
more to the story.
Well, yeah, because he wants to stay in VR46 and I get it. But if you want to win races, you know, and he's got to get used to being on this bike and he's finished in the main race 6, 20 seconds off the lead. And he finished 11th. He ain't winning championships and he's come out saying he's fighting for a title. Not going to happen.
Now he's got to turn it around.
Yeah, not going to happen. So
Got
it's
to work
just
it out.
yeah,
They've all got a big enough break now. The people that need to work out how to get around their bikes can do it.
Yeah, it's a good point.
Miguel, him.
Yeah.
It's crunch time for
probably the biggest
Oliveira.
two.
You got to remember, guys, there's the top 10. There's a lot of people going for that top 10 in this category now. Like, there is fucking, apart
It's
from
a stacked field.
apart from Nakagami and Raul Fernandez, everyone's capable of a top, Morbidelli, sorry. Everyone's capable of a top 10 finish. So it's it's so super stacked this year. It's crazy. And then you got this young kid fucking coming in and dominating everyone. Like, it's just crazy.
Yeah, Costa.
Man, it is-
You're gonna have Aldeguer next year on a factory
How
bike.
exciting. I mean, MotoGP's never been in a better place, apart from the dreaded Aero, which will... to be honest with you, talking about Aero, it's getting super dangerous. I mean, a couple of those incidents with Binder and Miller at the end of the straight, you saw Miller go into the slipstream and just lose all control.
Yeah. And there's
Like,
even,
it's
I think, a
super
few riders
dangerous.
copped it even just on their own.
Because that first
Running
turn
wide.
is fucking terrifying at Portimao.
It's a gnarly track, Portimao.
Yeah, and you just get sucked into that Aero, and then you just you're trying to brake and turn at the same
They're going
time.
down.
Like it is super dangerous.
All 4 Hondas back of the grid, and
had
they
that.
finished just about dead last. Marc Marquez actually repassed Marini after crashing. Fuck.
That's crazy.
They're struggling.
Bro,
Man,
Marini
struggling
only finished
Marini.
12 seconds in front of Morbidelli. Morbidelli crushed on the first lap, and it's Morbidelli.
Yeah, and he's bloody nowhere.
That's bad. That's real bad.
Obviously, Honda's gonna struggle, but I didn't realize they're gonna struggle this much.
Shout out to Nakagami, mate. It's fucking second Honda on the grid. That was pretty good.
He's carrying HRC. That guy's carrying HRC.
Mr. HRC at this point in
Yeah,
time.
that's right.
Yeah.
Hello.
But good racing. Good racing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Both races.
yeah, I'm happy with it. So, yeah, I don't know. We'll see what Honda pulls out. They've got a long way to go.
It's a long season, man.
and they're only just starting. Obviously, going to their concessions now, so you can't be too harsh on them.
No.
So what's the next race for
Coda.
GP? Coda in 3 weeks.
Yeah,
There you go.
yeah. It's gonna be
Alex Rins, baby.
Fucking put a bet on Daniel.
yeah. Chuck it on. $50.
Get the sports bet up.
I was watching free practice at Portimao. Oh, Portimao. I'm talking about. Let's talk about the attendance. 41% up from last year.
Yeah, great result. Yep.
Really, really good.
170,000 for the weekend.
Yeah, I thought that was really good.
That's good numbers.
They get 100 at Phillip Island for the weekend.
Yeah.
Just to give you a...
So they must be doing
comparison.
something. They must be doing something right.
Well, it's the
MotoGP.
biggest sporting event
In
in
Portugal.
Portugal.
Yeah.
Attendance-wise. So
That's awesome.
It is really cool. I mean, you think about... I mean, they're obviously big with soccer and stuff, but...
Grouse
motorsports-
track.
Grouse track.
Yeah.
One of my favourites on the calendar.
Because I saw obviously F1's Friday packed, and then I was watching Friday practice MotoGP. There was empty grandstands. I'm like, oh, this is kind of sad.
Yeah.
This is kind of sad.
But again, I was watching, Friday, and they got the attendance on race days. So
yeah.
that Friday at Phillip Island, in Owen Park, that was just one. Like, there's nothing else like that.
Nah.
Like, who gets 120,000 people on Friday practice day?
I thought the biggest, you said the biggest attendance ever was Adelaide. I thought the biggest for some, like, if you had me guess, would have been Monza. You see the scenes at Monza and how many people are there.
I think it's a small venue.
Yeah, it must be. Yeah.
Yeah, less. Monza, I don't think you can buy a general admission ticket. All grandstand, I'm pretty sure.
There you go.
Yep.
Yeah, right.
A lot of those tracks are like that with those because there's no GA seats. I mean, people would stand and watch it as GA, but you have to buy a seat. Silverstone, obviously, that's such a huge venue.
Yeah, it's a big place.
To get 450,000 in that joint, it's crazy in the middle of the city. It's pretty crazy. I mean, Silverstone is a fucking purpose-built track, so
yeah, it is, and it's an old airfield, I think, isn't it?
Yeah.
There you go, huh?
But it's like Danby said with the tracks, those Middle Eastern tracks, everything's just grandstand. You have to buy a grandstand seat. So that's why they don't get the massive crowds.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes sense.
Let's go on to Moto 2. What do you reckon? So
we've still got to talk about Moto 2 and Moto 3. Christ. Forgot about that. I got race results for Moto 2. Congratulations, Aaron Canet. Joe Roberts second. Great ride.
Bro.
I was so happy for him. OnlyFans. Shout out.
Man, I'm on the bandwagon.
Yeah.
I'll be vested.
Yeah. How many dollars over your lifetime, Op? No, you just got to type in the name and leaked. Get around it, people. Don't even have to pay for it. Just let's say leaked afterwards. Find anyone you want. You find Tom on a good day if you write Tom Shabby like leaks.
No, you don't want to say that.
Oiled up.
That's no. I'm trying to hide that stuff. Come on.
Sorry. Aaron Canet, Joe Roberts, Manny Gonzalez, pod favorite third,
and pole position as well.
Yeah,
he had a brilliant weekend. He was flying.
Yeah. Furman, unbelievable. We'll talk about him fourth. Ogura stayed on the bike fifth. Sergio Garcia sixth. Celestino Vietti seventh. Arenas eighth. Marcos Ramirez ninth, and Somkiat Chantra 10th. It just shows, this race just showed how good Furman is, though. That solidified that seat after last round.
Yeah, 100%. Great call. Yep, totally agree.
It was insane, man. I was watching, I was going, rookie, like I mentioned earlier, rookie error, but then I was like,
what did a long lap, was it about a 5-second penalty?
2 long laps.
2 long laps.
No, but
I think it was about, I think they said 6 to 8 seconds.
So
and it was
a big long lap.
So he would have comfortably won the race.
And it was right out in a dirty line because everything was muddy
so your
and
next
dusty.
2 corners after that get affected as well.
Yeah.
So Aaron Cadet still didn't really get a race win.
Poor Canet.
It's still an asterisk, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Poor guy. Overshadowed by someone in fourth.
So just going away from the race a little bit, who's everyone's championship favourite for Moto 2?
Furman.
Yeah, Furman's
it'd be Furman and Alonso, I guess, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
But it's Furman.
Arbolino.
Dixon's he wasn't even in the top 10.
He struggled. Dixon's meant to be fighting for it. Even Canet.
Yeah,
these guys are always...
Does Canet have a chance? Because he is consistent.
Well, he is. And now with this, it's the monkey off the back. He's probably a lot more relaxed. There's less stress for him.
Oh, man.
So maybe we can see him come through and win the championship.
Who's this, sorry?
Canet.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, that's what I said when I was watching. I'm like, I bet you he's going to win like 3 races now just because he's just gone through that.
The shackles will just come off.
Yeah.
And then, well, that's going to be really interesting to see over the next few races.
It is, and it is going to be a good season. I don't necessarily think this is going to be a runaway one. I think this is going to be very similar to what we've seen with the year of Bastianini, Lowe's, Marini, and Bears, and even Remy and
Fernandez. Yeah.
Man, Moto 2's in great. It's
going really well.
So good.
Yeah, I love it.
I remember watching it back. Remember, it's like 16, 17 before Remy and Fernandez, and fuck, it was boring.
It was boring. The early days of Moto 2 were...
When they went over to Triumph is when it really started
10-second gaps between riders and stuff. Like you still get that in some races, but yeah, it's so, and like a lot of different winners as well. It's awesome.
Yeah, it is. Different teams.
It's going to be awesome, man. Lopez and Aldeguer had a good little tussle for a little bit.
Yeah.
That was good to see.
Yeah.
Jake Dixon, he had to pull out due to still feeling concussion symptoms from his crash in Qatar.
Big crash,
he had a big off.
Couldn't do any more
But
push-ups.
yeah, man, it is going to be an awesome weekend. Like I said, an awesome season for them. Gonzalez had a great weekend. He was quick all round.
Big
chucked
dog.
it on pole. third in the championship at the moment.
Sergio
It's tight.
Garcia, 6. Like, he's second. I'm a massive fan.
Bro.
We both are. He's a star, man. Second year, and he had an awesome rookie year. He's
killing it.
one to watch.
His race pace and late race pace was freaking awesome.
Yeah.
And he just got eaten up at the start. If he hadn't had that bad of a start, would have been a different ball game as well. He's definitely one to watch. And if you compare him to Foggia, Guevara, Masia, all the guys that have just come up and been up for a year, they were all next to each other pretty much last.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he was the only one that was rising above it and
Literally.
was up mixing it with the rest. So
He's doing really well.
You really need that time in that category to just learn the bike.
A lot of people were in there for 4 to 5 years,
Yeah.
like
Before-
Alex Marquez.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you like these mere mortals like your Marquez and Acostas, they fly through the junior categories
Yeah.
because they're so good. But the truth of the matter is you have to
It's
perform and learn the bike and win in that category to get anywhere near MotoGP these days.
It's very
I mean,
true.
Manu Gonzalez, like a talented rider, but he's realistically got to go for probably one of those seats at Rossini MotoGP team, and he's just got to wait and result.
yeah,
result,
that's right.
you know?
Yeah,
So
he might win a championship, for example,
Yeah.
but still be there defending it the next year.
Yeah. So it's not a guaranteed at all to get into that class. So
No. But it is going to be exciting. And it's awesome to see Joe Roberts on the podium. It's
Yeah.
always good to see an American up there.
Yeah, it is.
yeah, good for the sport as well.
Absolutely is.
Bloody oath it is, especially because they're going to get bought out by Liberty Media.
Yeah, it is.
Be sick to see an OnlyFans GP bike.
Ooh, fuck, that'd be cool. They've had the Playboy LCR back in the
best.
day.
I love
That's
that.
cool.
With Randy DePugne, shout out if you're listening. I think he is.
My favourite.
Back in France.
You know what though, James? I don't think they'll turn MotoGP into what they turned F1 into.
No, I don't think. How do you know these
Yeah,
days?
that's right.
though? How do you know?
You don't know.
Yeah, it'll be a good thing.
Yeah, yeah. Well, as we've spoken about, like trying to get everyone to Philippines.
Yeah.
your parents would have a heart attack if more people came down for the.
The
for
problem
the weekend.
is, this is an issue if they get bought out by a big company like this. That's when they'll go, fuck it, we're taking it to the bend and we're getting more crowds. That's the problem.
I'll go
Because
to the bend.
yeah, but it ain't
Phil-
Philippines.
No, it's not Phillip Island.
So it's like...
And fuck Adelaide. Oh, yeah, fuck Adelaide. Sorry, Melbourne,
Nah,
Victoria
that last
rivalry.
time. We
Adelaide,
cut
you're
that last
fine.
time.
Don't listen to him. You're fine.
They
You
took-
got Live Golf coming up next couple of weeks. You'll be good. And the gather round, they're fine.
Gather round, fucking gather round. What, played Norwood Oval, 5,000 people? No, I'll take the G, thanks, mate.
That's the problem, and that could be an issue going forward. Is these?
That's a good point.
Yeah, they take these. You know, they don't go. I don't want 100,000 fans at a track. I want like the fucking Albert Park. I want 400,000. So.
It is. Yeah, you're right. And no one wants that. The riders wouldn't want that. Philippines always number one.
Would safety?
circuit.
Would there be a point in time in MotoGP history where safety gets so good and they, invent these new barriers or something that they can do a street circuit?
Oh my god, I don't think so.
It'll never get to that
no,
point.
I don't think so. No way. Not when you're doing that speed. No way.
It's amazing.
I mean,
isn't it?
look at Isle of Man.
Yeah, there's two deaths every
yeah,
year.
that's right. All those street circuits, Macau, all that kind of stuff. You're gonna
Yeah,
if
they
you're,
still
you're
race.
off,
They still race bikes in Macau, don't
Yeah.
they?
yeah, man, you should have seen some of the liveries for this year's one. Looked good.
Oh fuck yeah.
That's amazing. That's because that would be their idea, wouldn't it? To bring it to a city one year, but you'd have to have enough runoff.
I wouldn't even want to race a Moto 3 bike around there.
Yeah,
Yeah, especially young kids.
No way.
You know, it's just I can't see it happening.
it's a disaster in the making.
Yeah.
Yeah, and people that do the Isle of Man sign up knowing that they're going to do the Isle of Man. The young 16, 17-year-old or even a MotoGP rider ain't signing up to do a Grand Prix and then, we're throwing a street circuit.
It's like your old man used to race at Bathurst.
yeah, these
crazy when you think about it.
Bathurst. That's right. So it's different.
Moto 3, James.
Just before that, quickly, shout out Senna Aegis, pod favorite, got points.
Yeah,
14th.
Nice.
And the Aussie boys
Beat Darren Binder.
The Republica boys, fucking solid, real solid.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and that's all right.
Joel Kelso,
Joe Kelso, I was
I
just
mean,
about to say.
just a great weekend, and just those last few laps, he had it. Like he had the tires under him. he had the pace and just a couple of wrong moves on that straight. He got squeezed out. And
Yeah, I think I have to wait. I think the other boys are lighter, maybe.
Yeah, you can see he's
Yeah,
significantly
he's a bit heavier.
bigger.
Yeah,
you can just tell.
So, he just wasn't gaining anything on the straight. And in Moto 3, it's so hard. If you can't get an easy pass on the straight, you got to put it on the line.
Fucking nice.
And he was probably a little conservative. I mean, when we spoke to him, Dan, like, you know, we said, like, come on, like, you know, people go, you're not aggressive enough. He goes, well, if I race in Australia, I'll be like the most aggressive rider.
Yeah, that's right.
I thought he raced good. Like, it just maybe
Smart.
game recognises game. And
I think that was just like we touched on, that was a great race.
Yeah, great race.
He took the points, didn't throw it down the road.
But how funny is it, the different nationalities, though, the Spanish and the Italians, and they're just so aggressive. They don't care if they
They're
lose
very
time
fiery.
to get through, where I would say probably the British and the Americans and the Australians are a bit more calculated. Yeah, it's interesting to see.
Yeah.
But we've seen that he dropped a bit from that lead group and then came back really strong in those last handful of
that
laps.
medium
It was
retire.
awesome.
I wonder we'd love to know what his thoughts were after the race. I didn't see any interviews with him, but it'd be interesting. What was the results, the top 10 there, Jimbo?
Number 1, Danny Holgado, Rulstone's teammate.
Yep.
First, Jose Antonio Rueda rode a good race for seconds. Ivan Otola third, David Alonso fourth, Joel Kelso pod favourite fifth, Colavia sixth, Stefano Nepa seventh, Joel Esteban eighth, David Munoz ninth, Adrian Fernandez 10th, and shout out to Jacob Rulstone in 11th, who I believe he was the leader of just about the second big pack in both races so far. So, man, for a second year, he's doing really well.
How's he going up against, as in the other rookies, James? Like,
I think he's leading the rookie charge.
I think he is.
He's top rookie.
And he's in a good team, and he's doing
He's doing good
for a
things.
rookie. He seems to be doing everything right.
Yeah, and you got to remember too, he's over 180 something centimeters. He's huge.
Yeah, he's tall.
And not crashing. That's the other thing. He's not crashing. That's
Yeah.
a big thing with this category.
And I guess the real fight is once he gets onto those first place battles where it gets even heated again.
Yeah.
You know?
But man, he's got a proven record up through those junior categories. Like, you know, he's won championships.
Some
so.
strong tracks for him coming up as well.
And if you haven't listened to that pod, I highly recommend listening to the Jacob Rulstone pod. It's really interesting how he gets there.
Probably the biggest surprise we had was the determination he had. Wasn't it? It was crazy.
It was very fascinating.
Yeah.
Something I definitely don't have.
No, the intensity and the determination was, and Senna ages as well.
Yeah,
like,
he was the same.
Like, they're just different breeds. These kids.
Fucking hell.
That's why
That's
why we're sitting here and they're doing that.
That's why we're talking about them and they're not talking about us.
It was a good race. That was awesome. That top six battle, like we said, and you could see who was strong in certain parts of the track and who made it work for them. And
Yeah.
it was good.
Going to be a good fight for the title between hopefully Kelso, but Holgado and David Alonso as well.
Yeah.
It's going to be great. I mean, all three categories are going to have all amazing battles.
Yeah.
Like, it's like it is every year with GP.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
Hopefully Holgado doesn't drop the ball like he did last year.
Yeah, another year in it.
Yeah, he's another year, learned a bit more. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's good. I love it. Moto 3, like, it just doesn't get any better. Seriously,
It does
number
not.
one.
It's pretty good.
Boys, World Superbikes.
Yeah.
Can we talk about Toprak's move? Valentino Rossi-esque.
Yes. I mean, it's it nearly gathered the thirst trap performance of the week.
Yeah,
But
I love that.
That's brilliant.
but not quite this week. But he take it away, Dan. This is your domain.
Yeah, that was it was amazing. I mean, he took out race one from Bulliger, who had
It came from, like, I almost turned it off because I thought Bulliger was going to win.
5 seconds out in front.
Yeah, with only a few laps to go.
Yeah.
It was incredible. Great, man. Dude, I got
People are
things to say.
coming out today saying it was like the best last 3 laps performance
Fuck,
I've
the
ever seen.
racing has been so fucking good in World Superbikes this year.
It is. So, yeah, he came through Toprak first, Nicolo Bulliger second, Alvaro third, Iannone fourth, Locatelli fifth, Alex Lowe's sixth, Petrucci seventh, Agata eighth, Vandermark ninth, and Axel Bassani 10th. That was for race one. Like I said, 5 seconds up the road first and foremost, it's his rookie year in the category. For Bulliger to get into that position is amazing.
He's doing really well.
He's doing awesome. So,
Yeah, he's a star, isn't he?
that was good. But, I mean, Toprak is just man, I was watching him through that, and he had a bit of a battle with Sam Lowe's, who'd end up putting it down the road. But man, he's that late on the brakes. It's not funny.
Yeah, he's amazing.
That bike control is just incredible,
Oh.
isn't it?
And you think like, oh, surely he's chewing through tire, or no, makes it work. But yeah, that was all of the races were good. A Super Pole race, he comes through, makes that move on Alvaro, and then Iannone swooped through and took second.
Yeah,
so
Pip second. Fuck, that was good. You haven't seen that. I'm sure everyone who's listening has, but fuck, I was watching it. I was like, there's no way he's going to throw it up the inside, and he just
he just
pushes
sent
his
it.
way through.
It was a good move. It was a great move. So they were the top three, and then Bulliger fourth, Alex Lowe's fifth. Alex Lowe's has been pretty consistent on that
he has.
Kawasaki, and it's not the greatest bike out there. BMW's obviously found something. Vandermark sixth, Petrucci seventh, Locatelli eighth, Remy Gardner ninth, and teammate rounding it out, Tommy Agata 10th. Super Pole race, and then race 2. Let me get it up. Bautista came through, dominated. Bulliger, Toprak, Vandermark 4th, Petrucci 5th, Alex Lowe's 6th, Remy Gardner 7th, Johnny Ray 8th, Domi Agata 9th, and Garrett Gerloff 10th. So, yeah, like I said, BMW's found something. Scott Redding wasn't far behind him in 11th. So their bikes are starting to really be able to compete. Yamaha looks like they're struggling a little bit. And
nowhere.
Johnny Ray is just...
Is he injured from that crash in Phillip Island?
Have we got any footage of that, by the way?
No, I've been trying to find it. I can't find it anywhere. I don't know if he's injured. Nothing's come out and been said, but yeah, he's had a horror start, and he just does not look comfortable on that bike. They've had testing days.
Yeah.
There were a lot of testing.
Yeah.
They had heaps of testing. They had that week before GP, then they had
Jerez
before that. Yeah, and they tested last week as well, didn't they?
Tested just before this round too. Yeah. So it's it's interesting, but it's shaping up to be an awesome season.
Racing's amazing.
The racing's great.
Yeah.
The racing's great. Supersport's the same. It's really tight.
It's been the best racing Superbikes has had in a while, because you've got people in different bikes, and you've got just different race winners. Like, everyone's over Bautista winning or seeing Johnny Ray up there as well. So it's really good for the sport. Now we just need fans to actually go. Like, I watched Catalunya, and it was no one. It was hardly. It was just people on the front straight, and that was it.
Yeah, it's just about getting people there. But with all these, like you said, race winners in there, I think it probably hurts that it was the same weekend as GP in Portugal down the road.
Yeah,
Probably doesn't help.
True.
Yeah, it's a good point.
But it's shaping up to be a really exciting series. And like you said, we've got all these race winners from different categories coming through now, and they're pushing the envelope. Like I said, Lowe's was really fighting, looked great. Iannone's thereabouts. Petrucci's starting to come into his own. Remy Gardner, Domi Agata, they've got their head around it now. After a couple of years in, they're really starting to push. So it's going to be awesome.
It's going to gain more fans, and like that Michael Hill in that center of the track.
Oh,
I mean,
he's amazing.
He uploaded some photos on the weekend, and there was some serious amount of people in the middle of the track in that area, because
that's what they do so well. Supers.
Oh, people could sit in there all weekend and just enjoy it. I mean, he was fantastic. So if anyone's listening, I can get there and enjoy it, and you might it's another category to follow.
It's a really relaxed weekend as well. You get to meet all of them, and they're all pretty chill.
Where's the next race, Dan? In a month's time?
Yeah, they got quite a big break actually.
Very ASBK with the big breaks.
Their next one's
not 3 months though.
They're in April. Their next one.
You assume so.
End of April, sorry. In Assen.
Cool. There you go.
So that'll be really good.
Yeah.
That'll make for a very interesting racing.
That's going to be awesome to watch. Yeah.
Because Ducati shouldn't get away there.
Yep.
Yeah. Superbikes has been really good this year, I must admit. It's been really good to watch.
Yeah, it's a amazing year for motorsport, that's for sure.
And yeah.
You got us covering it.
That's right. That's fucking oath we do. Daniel, we're talking about coverage.
Yeah.
ASBK.
How'd you go up there, mate?
What a weekend, man.
Your interviews was so fun. They were
thanks,
great.
Dude. Yeah, it was something different. We bumped
very unexpected, wasn't it? When we uploaded, I was like, "Oh, fucking Daniel, what's he doing?"
I completely forgot that I bought my mics. To be fair, and bumped into to pod favourite and pod guest Damo Cudlin.
Yeah.
Shout out.
Shout out.
And if you haven't listened to that one, listen to that one.
Yeah.
Seriously, he's got some of the best insights and best stories.
Great stories.
Ciao, Damo.
And just listen to it just for the 24 hours of traveling we basically did. Like,
Yeah.
God, it was the biggest day of our lives.
Appreciation post, yeah. His story about Rossi in Japan
in
is
the bar.
one of the best stories ever.
Yeah.
So listen in, guys.
Yeah, that's really good.
So yeah, just bumped into him and I was like, oh, let's do something. I got my mics. Let's just film a little, preview thing. And he's like, man, done, 100%. So did that with him.
He's a man.
Got a hold of Ethan Johnson from OJC, the Junior Cup. Did a little interview with him, something different, And then Paris Hardwick in ASBK. So it was good, man. It was great track. I'd never been to formerly Eastern Creek, Sydney Motorsport Park. Under lights, it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's my favourite thing to what
And
I love guitar.
guitar, yeah.
And to see it in person, it made it for me. I was like,
Yeah.
this is
the bikes
it's
are
unreal.
cool.
You did some good shots as well. It was really cool.
Yeah, it was. Shout out to my mate Ibby for letting me steal his camera,
Nice.
point and shoot. But
How was the lighting up there? Was it like full lit, the track?
oh
Like
it was insane.
crazy.
Yeah, it was really good. The boys say that you can't really see too much off into past the track.
Yeah.
But
I'm telling you, that could be the future of sport in Australia because having a night race in Australia therefore means it's going to be a better time in the States than in England because it's going to be like a 10 a.m. race. So they're actually in talks of doing a night race Formula One, in the future at Albert Park. So,
that'll be sick.
yeah, that's
I've heard that
in
before,
talks.
actually.
Because imagine MotoGP down at Phillip Island. Lindsay Fox isn't going to spend the money, but
Well, you can't even get new fucking urinals in there, let alone lights.
But
Yeah.
like that could be the future of sport here.
It very
And
well
if they
could
want to
be.
bring more and more sport here, make it a night event, and then it's a more favourable time. Because if it's a 7 p.m. start here, it is like 11 o'clock in the morning over there.
Or you bring GP back and do 2 Aussie rounds, which would be awesome. And then
Yeah.
you have a night race at Eastern Creek and
Yeah.
and one at Phillip Island. And sorry to our Adelaide viewers, but nothing at the bend.
Nothing
Sorry,
at the
bro.
bend.
Nah, not the we don't like tracks that were made on keyboards, do we?
Nah.
I was a bit skeptical because I didn't know a whole lot about Sydney Motorsport, and I thought it was going to be relatively flat. But there's a lot of
Yeah, it's a
there's a lot of
mid-circuit.
up and down.
Yeah.
The V8s look good around there as well. They do a night
Their
race.
go-kart track there is so much fun.
Yeah, a lot of people said that
Yeah.
actually, but it was good to catch up with a lot of pod favorites and
Yeah.
a lot of people
All
that
the
we
boys.
know, and it was just awesome. They did a really good pit walk. They do like over an hour and a half, an hour and 10 sort of lunch break
Yeah.
or dinner break, I should say. And it's great. The sun's coming down and the lights start to go on, and then by the time you've finished, it's basically pitch black and they're running out for their last races and stuff. So
Cool event, man. That's sick. And
How-
that's good they're doing something different.
And there was
Yeah.
a stack of people there
Yeah, I
on
was gonna
Saturday
say,
night. Hey,
how's the fans?
Mate, it was chockers.
Oh, that's awesome.
Friday was pretty busy.
Different to like when we went to Phillip Island after MotoGP
Oh.
weekends.
That was an embarrassment. Yeah,
That's so hard though. The week
Yeah,
after
that's-
GP.
Yeah,
That's
it's
stiff.
so
Death
stiff.
to failure. Yeah.
And Sydney Motorsport Park's like in Sydney.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's 25 minutes from
Yeah.
suburbs where
Yeah,
you would
yeah,
live, or you're in the suburb.
Yeah, so Saturday night I was expecting to be busy, but not as busy as what it was.
That's
There was
really good.
people all over the back of the
It's
pit.
so smart though because their families can go, oh, it's like going to the footy. Let's go. We're going to the races tonight. Like, how cool is that?
and
like,
and it was that there were a lot of families, a lot of young kids, and
Yeah, nice.
the boys were great through all the categories from OJC up to Superbikes, even
Yeah.
the Masters, like taking photos with the kids.
God, it would have been
riders.
non-stop action.
Man,
You had
it
4 or
was.
5 categories on.
Junior Cup, 300, Supersport 600, 1,000,
Masters.
SBK, and
Yeah.
Masters.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was amazing, man. It was just good racing. Race 1 was sick. Crew Halliday took it away. Home race. Did really, really well. And then, so Ducati dominated qualifying. They're pretty like in any of the other categories. They're amazing.
Yeah.
So Waters first, Voigt second, and Herfoss third. It was good to catch up with him from his stint in America.
Yeah.
Said he loved it, had a great time. Still trying to tee something up with him. Hard man to get a hold of.
Yeah.
Might have to meet him in America.
Oof, don't tempt me with a good time. But yeah, race 1, Crew Halliday came through first, Josh Waters second, Harrison Voigt third, Mike Jones, 4th. Cameron Dunker, young 15 or
Oh,
16-year-old,
yeah.
rounding out the top 6.
God, good on him. That's fantastic.
Yeah, so that was amazing. And then, so that was during the day, and then race 2 at night. Josh Waters, Brock Pearson, Max Stauffer, Crew Halliday 4th, Harrison Voigt 5th.
So they do a Friday night race, a
Saturday.
day and Saturday night. Yeah, right. Okay. And they just do practice and qualifying on Friday.
Yeah,
Clear visors or tinted visors under lights?
clear.
Daniel? Okay.
A lot of them were clear.
Yeah.
Yeah. So call it. Yeah.
Did Campy run a clear visor as well?
I would assume so. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, good. Just wanted to make sure.
But it was awesome.
Coke and a
man.
dart.
It was great, and then obviously they do their overall winners as well.
Yeah.
On points based. So
Shout
yeah.
out to Campy Racing, by the way. My number one.
Easy number one.
I'm number one ticket holder for them.
Yeah, you are.
Would highly recommend. I think I might be close to becoming ASBK's number one ticket holder.
Yeah.
I'm going to try
definitely.
and get around to pretty much all the races this year if I can.
Bro, get those media passes going. You should be hand one to every race now.
Surely. But awesome event. If you're around, the next race is in Queensland in a month's time.
Is there people in Australia doing much more than ASBK than what we
Oh,
are?
no, I'm telling you, I don't think there is.
I think it's a bit hard. Like, we had a lot of positive feedback
Not not financially, but like coverage. I mean, surely we're up there.
Well, we had a lot of. Well, I think Talk and Chatter does a little bit. Does a few pods.
Oh, yeah,
with
he's
people.
good.
He's really, really good.
Yep.
But had a lot of feedback from a few of the riders saying that what we're doing is awesome,
Yep.
and they love to see it and love to see that we're there.
Yeah, that's
So
awesome.
it's a positive.
Man, it makes a big difference.
Well, we love it.
It's a big effort and to go up there, so well done.
Yeah, no, it was awesome. Like I said, I'd do it in a heartbeat. It's
And if
good-
it wasn't on
it's good
F1
series.
weekend, we would have been enjoying. I was ready to go up with you.
100%. It was
So
just
annoying.
shocking timing for
Yeah.
that, unfortunately. But
That's why they probably got Eastern Creek cheap
yeah,
same weekend.
Maybe.
yeah. But it looks like it's getting bigger. And I spoke to Damo, and he's pretty confident that it's getting bigger as well. So
Mate, I'm telling you, that is the perfect thing. A Friday and a Saturday, a 2-day
Awesome.
event. You have your practice, you qualify on a Friday. Did they qualify at night on Friday or was it just during the day?
at night.
Fuck, that's just so cool. And then have this
It's
Saturday
sick.
night as the spectacular race.
Yeah.
People can come watch it.
That's exactly what
That's
it
what
was,
it
man.
needs. I'm telling you. That's
Yeah.
exactly what it needs.
And especially if you're in like, Phillip Island during summer or
Yeah.
Queensland and it's like fucking 35 degrees
Yeah.
and there's no shade, you don't want to be out there either.
Yeah.
Night, it's just a bit nicer.
Yeah, it's the other thing ASBK could do would be like do a summer series. They do it over the summer period and do some night races when it's really hot, that sort of thing. Because in the winter, like, are you really going to go to watch ASBK when it's pissing down rain, when there's GP on the TV? Do it when there's no other racing happening. That would be the fucking go.
I guess the only track they can do it at is Eastern Creek, isn't it?
Yeah, they do.
Darwin.
Do they race at Darwin, though?
Yeah, they do. Yeah, it's a double header V8 and SBK.
Oh,
And they got
okay.
lights at Darwin.
Oh, we should go to that one. That'd be cool.
And
That would be. Apparently, it's a really good one.
Yeah, we should go to that.
Perth have lights as well.
Do they?
Yep.
Yeah, I don't think they race at Perth.
No. Barbagallo.
Oh, still gone.
But yeah, they do like local night series, and all the boys go
I've
and
heard
race
of that.
there.
Well, the boys were saying that at GP, like they did a night series.
Bluestone raced it.
Yeah.
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 So all those guys are there.
That's cool. I
But
love that.
and it's great to see guys like Vermeulen's there doing commentary.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
got Steve Martin doing commentary. Braxy's doing the
Braxy.
live. He's awesome.
Yeah, I love Braxy.
And Troy
Don't know where
Corse.
he's come from. I love him.
Troy Corse has jumped on board to do it
He's
as
doing
well.
Yeah,
the hot laps, isn't he? With
Bro,
You getting on the
He-
back of what, Daniel?
I
you
would
asked him?
love to get
Have you
on the
asked
back.
him?
I got to hit him up. Dude, he monitored the whole straight. He had this chick on the back, the whole straight. Then he puts one leg out and waves to the crowd with the other hand. I'm like, what is going on?
He's an
But
animal.
even like Steve Martin does the other pillion rides on the R1, and same thing. These guys just on the back wheel, like
Yeah, they're
unreal,
different.
different ball game. But it's so good to see all these guys giving back and being there for the whole year, not just one-off races commentating and
100%. Yeah.
like it's what the sports needed.
Yeah.
And it's really good. And like I said, Damo coaching Paris, and I'm sure there's other guys that are out there helping out other young kids.
Yeah.
It's what we want to see. We just want to see it grow and be another successful sport in Australia.
Yep. Well said.
Well said. Yeah.
Well said.
Yeah.
I want to go to the next one, so we'll organise it.
Yeah. Done.
Yeah, now $1,000,000. We'll get down. It'll be good fun.
Beautiful, boys.
Beautiful.
See you
Anything else to add?
Special guest pod getting released this weekend.
Yeah.
Yep.
So this will get released whenever, the next
Cool.
couple of days, and then
We'll do it next
we
week.
won't spell the beans on who it is.
No.
But it's
You'll
very,
find
very
out.
cool pod.
Yeah.
Definitely get around it and get around who it is too.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Thanks, boys.
See you, gents.
See you guys.